Green is the new gold. Our 18-hole Nicklaus design, award-winning golf course and clubhouse will leave you green with envy. We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Your long weekend has just begun, and thank you for kicking it off with me, Anele, right here on SABC3, where the stage is yours. So, 1983, Port Elizabeth, he pretended to be from England, you see, so that he could get himself a job in comedy. 34 years later, he's still funny, still gets booked, and he's still Barry Hilton. In 2013, he won the Lifetime Achievement Award in the Comics Choice Awards, an award that was right on time, because how long have we been saying, my cousin?
Thank you, my cousin.
My cousin, I'm so glad you're here because I've been dying to tell
eh?
you the story since I was in matric, which was about 13 years ago. There was a kid in my school.
Give or take 10.
who obviously would go watch you with their parents or whatever, and we didn't know that there was a thing called comedy, right?
Yes.
And he would watch you, and then he would cram everything you say, and then we'd come to school and say all your jokes on stage, and we used to think he is hilarious until the one day I switch on the telly. I'm like, no man, I've heard what this man is saying, and the way he's saying it, and even the goose jokes, and I was like, this kid was lying to us for 4 years. Just literally, he was like the Chinese. Like, he was just like taking what you're doing and then selling it off as his.
It was also like me lying to pretending I was from England. So you do what you do to start.
Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so it kicked back. So here's the funny thing. You don't like watching comedy movies.
No, I don't enjoy it. My heroes have died, so I used to really love Robin Williams. So
Okay.
that was quite a shock to me, and Richard Pryor.
Okay.
But then I actually prefer thrillers and action movies and things like that, because I get funny stuff out of that. Comedy's done, I love comedy, obviously, but I just don't. I'm a comic, so I'm doing comedy the rest of my life.
So, I mean, it's kind of going to work.
As well. Yeah, actually, it's amazing that is.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to see what the punchline is going to be. So I'm working. You're quite correct.
So your brain is never resting, whereas if you're
absolutely.
watching a thriller, you've left it all up to them.
Yeah.
Like, for once, you let somebody else entertain you.
Absolutely. Jason Bourne can just clap the accent, just do it.
And what's the other one that talks softly? Jason Statham. Statham.
Yeah. All right.
All right, okay.
You really want to go with me?
There's that accent that got you the job.
No, the accent that got me the job was, all right, I'm from Liverpool. That's what got me the job.
So when did you, let the penny drop that you're not actually from Liverpool?
It came out about, I got the gig, and every time the guy, back in the days, I used to be a strip club. That was the only work you could get. So I would only be doing 10 or 15 minutes a show, and I could do 4 hours when I started. But it was jokes in those days. 2 guys walking down the road and the one said.
Okay.
So every time the guy that booked me came in, I'd be on stage talking like that. You know what I mean? So then they called me in and they said to me, well, how long can you carry on? I said, I don't know, hours and hours I can do this. Would you like to stay? And of course, I'd like to stay. It's great here in South Africa. Meanwhile, I'm from Cape Town. So he said, we have to just find out something. We have a small question we need to ask you. Something's come up, and I thought, I'm dead.
They found you out.
So then they said to me, he says to me, we've heard that you can do a really, really good South African accent. Just like, well, funny you should say that, but and he went like, I can't believe.
And you say that you used to tell jokes on stage.
Yeah, jokes.
I know that Billy Connolly.
He came and spoke to me after my show.
He came and spoke to you.
I opened for Billy Connolly. I'd won a couple of awards as an up-and-coming comic in England when I was there. But 89, 90 wasn't the place for a white South African to be. So I still had to pretend I was a Scouser.
Okay.
So I opened for Billy Connolly for 4 days in Jersey.
And he was massive, hey?
Huge. And he changed my life completely. Besides the fact that I was watching him every night and seeing how brilliant he was and easy, he actually took the time to come to the change room and say to me, you're really funny, but you really should leave the jokes and now start talking about experience.
Oh, wow.
So, wow. And I actually took him up on that. So I came back to South Africa and started.
And now you tell stories, not necessarily just
not
jokes.
so much stories. Well, it's all changed now. You remember it was one-line jokes. Then it became observational humor. It's more like conversational now, isn't it?
It is. It is. But what I like is the fact that, you know, you've stayed conversational. You've still got the jokes. You're still funny.
Oh, I'm still funny.
I mean, I like that you steer clear from politics. You're just like,
I
oh yeah,
hate
everyone else can do
politics.
that. But I think because you tell of experiences, that's why you can be at the Sydney Opera House. That's why you can be in Malaysia.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Although, can I just tell you, I wrote a political joke today. I actually wrote, it was on my Facebook. It says, Jacob Zuma is actually a compulsive hoarder because he's kept 6 of his wives in case he ever needs to use one of them again.
And the funny thing is, how many wives have you had?
3.
Okay.
So I'm almost there. And 6 children. One more of each. I'm running for president. Will you vote for me?
And what I liked what you said about your children was, the age gap is 34 years, hey?
30, yeah.
Yes, between the
38, 7, yeah, 31 years.
Yes.
So,
And you
so
said
I've been going to the Spur.
for 34 years.
And I still haven't worked out the words to.
It's your
But that's
day.
the truth,
It's
eh?
your day at the Spur.
So I tell people, if they're feeling cuck in life, if they're feeling bad about themselves, go to the Spurbury because somebody is having a birthday and you to get a piece of cake.
And you'll be fine.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
good.
say you did comedy in Mauritius once.
Yes.
And then they allowed you to like also have a holiday, one of the perks.
Absolutely.
What perks has comedy given you? I
Wow.
mean, 34 years in, you must have
I can stay in basically any hotel I want at the moment. I've traveled all over the world. I often go to a restaurant and I never push myself. I never do that, you know, and I often will go to the restaurant and the manager or the owner will come and say to me, wow, can we take a photograph of you? Well, yeah, I don't mind, sure. Take. And then they'll say, no, the bill's on us. So that gives you certain perks. But also comedy and the life that we lead, you live it, you're an artist, has a lot of negatives.
Yeah.
You know, my 7-year-old son, basically, he's only 3.5 because that's the only time I've seen him.
Oh.
So I'm away most of the time. So that's the way it is. And it's quite lonely on the road.
I can
it's
agree with
very,
that.
very lonely. And then you end up at 2 o'clock in the morning eating a bacon and egg sandwich. You know.
Cleaning out the
Yeah.
minibar.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been there.
Dude, I just want to know who stocks the minibar because there's this terrible chocolate. It's
right in front, eh?
And I'm just like, no one eats this. No one likes it. Every minibar you go to in the world has got that ugly chocolate.
You see what it is? It's the plan. You open that ugly chocolate. You think, seriously? Then you pause, and then all the beautiful stuff is saying to me, eat me.
Take me.
They won't know. Take me. And then you get the bill tomorrow and you can't say, what? I had 7 chocolates. Now, who can you admit that to? You can't sort of... I said to my wife, I spend money on chocolates.
Can I tell you what I once did? Because you say it's traveling and you're lonely. So I'm by myself in a hotel room, right? And then I order room service, but there's such good foods that I order 2 meals. And then I put the shower on when they delivered the food. And when the person came in, I was like, hey babe, the food's here. Because I was too embarrassed that I'd ordered 2 meals. Can you relate?
No, that's pretty cool. Yes, of course. I relate that exactly. You know what you want, and also you feel bad about yourself and you want to be noted. When I first started, back in the years when cell phones first came in, okay, I used to go to a traffic light and talk to myself in the car because people would think, yeah, that's actually she's got a flip and hands free.
And then, the phone rings in your ear.
Yeah, but I've been there. You order extra food because you think, you know what, who's going to know? And I'll start my diet tomorrow.
Listen, time for a quick ad break. When we return, I chat to Barry Hilton, about 34 years in the industry. Life on the road, we've already started on that. His family, and you want to hear about the relationship with his dad, the full circle that it did. Don't disappear. So obviously, I've been laughing my head off during the ad break. Welcome back to Real Talk with Anele. If you just tuned in, you're also about to laugh. I'm joined today by Lifetime Achievement Award winner, my cousin, Barry Hilton.
Thank you.
Do you still have your T-shirt business?
Yes, absolutely, and it's getting more and more and more and more.
So you say you sit and you write the slogans
I
that
wrote
you have
a story about how South Africans braai. And we're over 720,000 hits now on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
So when it was like 450, I said to my wife, I should just start writing a No Hollands Braai t-shirt for fun. I made a joke. And we expanded it. So now we have the No Hollands Braai 1, 2, and 3. And then we've gone a bit square now. I've got like t-shirts that say meatitarian.
And real men use wood?
Real men braai with wood.
Yeah.
My favorite animal is chops. How do vegetarians meet? And it just carries on and it feeds on itself, excuse the pun. And that's good fun, and it's actually turned into a business. In fact, as we speak, I'm opening a shop now down the road at the casino.
Really?
As we speak now. Yeah.
Where you're going to be performing
this weekend. We're opening a store. They actually approached us and I said, why not?
Okay, fantastic. We'll chat about that later when Stuart joins us. So, I mean, I've read that you perform to 22 people. You can perform to 3,700 people.
Yeah, my best is 4,200. And that, to answer your question, is I did Carnival City.
Yes.
4,200 people. And the next night I went and I did a birthday party for a lady that just turned 70. And her kid said, what would you like for your birthday? And she said, I would really like to see Barry Hilton live. And I performed in a guest house, in the lounge of a guest house for 22 people. And personally, it didn't make a blind bit of difference to me.
I was going to ask, is the energy the same?
Yeah, it was massive. Look, obviously the noise level wasn't the same, but the fact that this lady had asked for me and the kids were sitting there, the young kids and the whole sort of generations, and we all had a good laugh together. And I was thinking to myself, wow, man, this is so cool. I've basically been semi-retired for 35 years because I don't really have to work. I work, but it is hard work and it's tough, but what a wonderful feeling to go from there to there and still enjoy it as much.
And I mean, I know your dad wasn't into you going into comedy.
My dad wasn't into me. He wasn't one of those people that we're talking about now. My dad never entered me at all. Now stop this.
Oh, wait. No, not like that. As in,
how dare you talk about my father like that?
No.
No, I understand.
You're going to cost me my J.O.B. out here. So, because I know that
he hated
he
the fact that I was funny.
And his friend went to go watch you.
Absolutely.
And then went to go tell him, you better go watch your son because he's hilarious.
And it was this, you know, it was like you'd see it in a comedy show or a movie. I went there, he disowned me. He told his friend, when he said, you got to go see your son. I've only got one son now. And his friend said, come with me. Then after the show, my dad was,
but when you see him on stage, did you like freeze a little?
I tell you what, I was like halfway in a gag and it was just like, oh no. But my desire to win is far greater than my disability of self-doubt.
Okay.
And so I just carry, yes, I do self-doubt.
But do you think that that's your dad who instilled it in you?
Very much. Because when I grew up, he would say, shut up, you're not funny. You're not funny. You're not funny. And then I happened to marry a lovely girl called Janice McCurdy, who was Scots. And her parents used to say to me, you will never be as good as Billy Connolly, so don't even try. Before I turned pro. So, they were trying to protect me. That's all they were. John was a good oak and Kathy was fantastic. And Janice is still a great person. So, that was, okay, you're not going to be good enough, you're not going to be good enough. But once again, my self-doubt was here and my drive to win was higher. So I had to do it. And I just gave up work one day and just started to.
So do you feel that with your kids now, you almost, blindly support them to like the extreme of not being like your father? Like your kid wants to be in the circus, right?
Jack, he rides a unicycle and he knows learn to play drums, he juggles and he does that. He wants to be in the circus. So carry on. My one boy in London, he's a muso. He busks. And in fact, he just phoned me now as we were downstairs and he said, hey, I got a gig tonight, £120 or something like that, which is, I'm thinking, killer. He could be doing something else, but he wants to be a musician. And so, 2 of my other boys are behind the cameras. Okay. So you got to let kids do what they want to do.
But not...
Except smoke. Don't smoke and have dagga. But you can have dagga now if you're in Cape Town, and immediately after they legalized dagga in Cape Town, you realize that it wasn't a tablecloth on the mountain. It was
just everybody there deciding to do it even before the law was passed.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, you got to let your kids do what they want to do. It's important. Why? I bumped into a guy a couple of months ago, and he said to me, your son was in my daughter's class. Okay, and I said, oh cool, what's her name? He said to me, no, she's a doctor in Holland. I said, that's fantastic. How do you spell that? So I said, what is her name? No, she's a doctor in Holland. And I said to him, did she want to be a doctor? No, we decided since she was young she was going to be a doctor. And I said to him, that's why she's in Holland.
Because she had to get away
from you. So Why force your children to do something that they don't want to do? You know, I mean, in school, I was completely useless, purely because I wasn't interested.
But you say you were also ADD.
Very much. I mean, I forget things all. Good evening.
Guys,
It happened. You know what I'm saying? So had I been in school that there was a teacher perhaps noticed this guy's sharp, you know, I might have done something else. But my father decided I was going to be a tradesman, and that was it. You have to be a tradesman. You know, and I tell this joke, and this is really a true story. We were asking about Jan van Riebeeck, and this is how my mind works. And the teacher asked me one day, what did Jan van Riebeeck eventually finish up as? And I immediately said to him, Rick Coffee. Because Jan van Riebeeck was on the bottle.
That's all
so I got bliksemed for that.
So, but I mean, you've had really special moments.
Absolutely.
That you
I
remember.
got 6 kids. They were very special when I made them.
Collectively, all 12 minutes of it.
Yeah. 9. That's not brag.
I'm giving you credit for nothing. But I think the one that stands out for me is a guy has diabetes. It's Christmas
Where are
Day.
you finding this stuff? Okay, she's sharp, this chick is very good.
So a guy has diabetes. It's Christmas Day. Your wife who manages you gets a call.
Yes.
Tell us.
And I heard her saying, seriously, it's Christmas. Oh. Okay. I'll ask him. Baz, can you go see a guy? He's got diabetes. He's just gone blind and he's had his leg amputated. He asks for you. His wife phoned up and said, he said to his wife, I want to just see Barry Hilton. They had just gone blind from diabetes and he'd lost a leg. So I go into the hospital and I said, my cousin. And he said, he sat up, he looked around and he said to me, wow, I've waited all my life to see you. And I thought, jeez, how can I even bother complain about the sore toe? There's this guy, he's just gone blind, he's lost his leg, but he was more excited to see me than Christmas Day. So that's very special.
Does that help with your depression or does it make you depressed?
It helps me, makes me realize how lucky I am. And if you've got time, my brother died a couple of years ago, and I was doing a big show in Durban in one of the casinos. And I got a phone call when I was backstage, as you were just now. Okay, I got a phone call, it was my brother. And he said to me, listen, come and see me because I'm going to die. That was my words from my brother. He said to me, the doctor said, I haven't got long, what should I do? So I said to him, commit fraud, the judge will give you 9 years. So we had a laugh. And then he put the phone down, we put the phone down, he said, come and see me, I'm going to die. And I said, okay, I love you very much. Put the phone down, ladies and gentlemen, Barry Hilton.
Oh, wow.
And I went on and did 75 minutes because you can't tell the people, listen, I'm not going to work now because my brother is going to make it happen. But it gives you drive because the telling the jokes and being funny about it. And in fact, I told that joke.
Oh, about my brother's dying.
Yeah, my brother's dying. And some people actually walked out and then complained about it. And then afterwards, my wife phoned them and said that was actually the truth. He
did die.
So that was my way to handle the stress. Like I told you, the little joke just now between us. We can't tell you the joke because it's too fresh.
Yeah.
So I hope one day when I die, all the comics get together and say, Flippin' Hilton was a poopball and Dada, he did this and did that. That's the way you want to be remembered.
Yeah.
So you've got to handle it. And it's tough in our business. It's not easy.
But you do it. We do it.
We do it, absolutely.
Okay, listen, you are going to go have a quick break. You'll be back later. You and Stuart are going to be on the couch together when we're discussing comedy as a whole.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this.
No, thank you very much.
Time for a quick ad break. When we return, I'm bringing in another great comedian, a man who's been performing all over the world, New York, Europe. He's a multiple award winner and a zoologist by training. If you want to know who I'm talking about, stay put. And welcome back. My guest right now is a comedian, a magician extraordinaire. Drum roll, please. I'll do it myself. Mr. Stuart Taylor. Born at Grassy Park Hospital.
Where do you get the information? Who are your researchers?
I called Grassy Park this very morning just to certify. I was like, in 1977, was there a Grassy Park person born there? They were like, yes, we know him, and we brag about him. Everybody that comes in his car, they're like, he was born here, folks. He was born here. And what's interesting about the year that you were born in and is the fact that so many other comedians were born that year.
I can explain that.
Please do.
I read a book, right? It's called The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell. And it basically explains that a lot of factors have to come together in order to make certain things happen. So, for example, most professional footballers or professional sports people are born in January. Why? Yeah. Because when you're 6, 7, 8 years old, if you're born in January, you're playing against someone who was born in December, you are a year faster, a year stronger, so you always just get more opportunities.
And,
so read the roster.
Attention.
More attention.
Yes.
So suddenly there's a special program, then you get selected. Read the roster of when professional sports people are born, it's January. So now comedy in South Africa, 1977 meant that when there was this resurgence of comedy in South Africa, I mean, you had Barry and Joe Park and those guys
and
at the beginning, and Mel Miller at the beginning. Then there was, and they were there, then suddenly country goes through a transformation. It's post-1994. Suddenly young kids of color, young black kids are kind of saying things.
They have a voice.
They've got a voice.
And we're no longer scared to talk about it. We're making fun of it.
We can now make fun of things. We've given it a bit of time. So around about 1999, there's a group of guys who are 18, 19, 20 years old. What it means is that they've just finished university or about to finish university. They're not married. They don't mind hanging on people's couches. They don't mind spending a night. So everyone.
They're cross-cultural. They hang around with Indians and whites and blacks. About
David Cow, Chris Forrest, Kagiso Lediga, myself, Riyad Musa, Conrad Koch. We were all together at the same time, and we were young enough to just kind of hop on a flight and go. We had no commitments. And it's not a plug for them. Do you know what came in that year? Kalula.com. You could fly to Joburg. You could fly to Joburg for $600, and gigs were paying you $700.
So you make 100 rand.
You could fly, get 100 rand, and fly back.
And make a name for yourself.
Exactly, and that was why a lot of comics were born in 1977. We were a group of people who had no commitments. We just finished studying, but we didn't really know what we wanted to do. And this world opened up where we could kind of talk about where we are.
So 1999, you start the comedy. The year 2000, you go professional. 2001, you start paying the bills.
Something like that. Something. Who says I'm paying bills yet?
You're paying bills because
we're paying bills.
Is your industrial psychologist wife still a housewife?
My industrial psychologist wife is still a housewife. She's no. I've pulled her in now. She now works in our production company. Okay. So she runs Tailor-Made Productions.
Let's talk about the beginnings, because you say there's a bit of magic and there's a bit of comedy.
Yeah.
When you're on stage, right, what do you need when you're doing comedy that magic teaches you, and what do you need when you're doing magic that comedy teaches you?
So yes, if you don't know the magic background, I went to a place called the College of Magic, and it's kind of like a part-time thing you do when you're at school. And people like Riyad Musa went there, Conrad Koch, a whole bunch of us. And so basically, what they teach you is pretty much the magic of self-esteem. That's really what the College of Magic teaches you. It teaches a young kid to stand up in front of an audience, make eye contact, do something, and you feel quite empowered because you can do something that the audience finds amazing. And so it's the absolute best thing you could do for your kid is get them to learn the skill, which they then get to show off, and people go, wow, you're amazing. Even if they're fumbling, the whole audience just goes, wow, you're amazing. And that is an amazing booster to your self-esteem. So when we arrived on the comedy scene, we kind of had 8, 9, 10 years of standing in front of an audience and
commanding
hey, come on, how's this?
Attention.
So you didn't have to learn mic technique. You didn't have to learn, guys, stand up straight, face the audience, whatever. So, I mean, most guys learn that kind of as actors and then go into comedy.
And you knew how to die on stage already as well.
You know how to die.
When your magic trick
exactly, when
falls
that
on
thing
the
falls
floor,
apart.
you're just like, where's Harry Potter when you need him?
Exactly.
What is going on here?
Exactly.
Okay, have you ever been tired of comedy, just exhausted? You're like, you know what? I do all sorts of things in comedy. So my day, I never ever do just one thing. So I get to be a writer, and then I get to be a producer. And now I've started directing shows, and I've started producing and writing online series. So the beauty of being a comedian in this country is you get to be a jack of all trades. There's so many opportunities. So many facets. You on TV, you can contribute on radio.
Exactly. So there isn't really time for boredom. You just kind of go, well, I'm kind of missing doing. So I haven't done a one-man show in about 1.5 years now, and I'm really kind of jonesing. I'm like,
was that? I think it was Bespoke.
That's the one. That's the one. Badly named show, amazing show, very bad name.
Oh, come on, Stuart Taylor.
Tailor-made. Now you see, you've got that. People who came, the people were like, yeah, are we coming to watch the show called Bespoke? Is it the? Oh, well, guys.
You've got bad luck with names. So his name is Stuart Taylor, right? But then there's a soccer player. His name is also Stuart Taylor.
Yes.
So every time the soccer player plays badly, guess who gets all the hate?
Hate on Twitter. You suck.
Don't you-
Like, I didn't even do jokes today.
It's like, I'm in bed.
Yes.
What's going on? I suck. Tell me how you kind of, I don't want to say mentored, because in comedy it's difficult to mentor someone, but I mean, I know Loyiso Gola, you know, kind of.
The thing is, well, I mean, so myself and Kurt Skundrat used to share a house in Obs back in the day when we first started out. And Loy was literally like a kid in standard 8, standard 9. So his mom would let him hang with us because we were like, she thought we were being responsible.
A better fit.
But we'd literally, so we'd be like, Loy, we got a gig tonight. You gotta finish the maths homework, dude. So he'd have to sit there and finish his maths before, and we were kind of like his big brothers because we really wanted him to do the comedy thing, but we really did understand his mom's angst.
Okay.
His mom had like serious angst, and that was, it eventually became a deal between the sort of the comics and his mom. Listen, if he doesn't maintain his grades, we won't give him the stage time.
Okay.
So then he had the impetus to kind of work harder, but then we'd be like, dude, I'll help you solve for X, come, let's just do this. And then we can write some jokes, man.
You know, I did this zoology degree
come on,
thing,
man, let's do this.
I'm in there.
Yeah.
The zoology that's a BSc,
yeah,
right?
BSc in animal sciences.
Okay, so your dad's a plumber and your mom's a housewife, and you decide you're going to study animals.
Yeah, bad guidance counseling. That's kind of what it
It was
comes
probably
down.
the substitution teacher.
I think it was. In fact, this guidance counselor was so bad. I was like, listen, I want to go to Stellenbosch. Then she said, is there tech there? What is the place to study there? Then I was like, better go and sort this out myself, huh?
So what made you pick that?
I had this motto when I was at school, which is dare to be different.
Oh.
So I never wore the school tie. I always wore a different tie. And they just kind of went, oh, that dude's quirky. He does magic tricks. We'll leave him be. So if everyone wore black socks, then I'd wear white socks. I just had this thing, you've got to be different. And the expectation was if you went to study, you went to UCT or UWC
So you went to
or
Stellenbosch.
Pentec. And then I was like, no, I'm going to go to Stellenbosch. That sounds. I didn't realize that the class was going to be in Afrikaans. That was a bridge I had to cross when I got there.
But wait, you knew a little bit of Afrikaans. Come on.
Yeah.
You can't be a colored person who doesn't know Afrikaans.
I know Afrikaans. Well, I tell you what, when you meet those gorgeous women, you better learn Afrikaans.
Shut
I
up.
was like, no, hallo, hoe gaan dit met jou
Ek
vandag?
is
My naam is...
Stuart Taylor.
And then you're like, yo, I better get better at this.
But then you used to use your magic tricks
I
to
do
get
my
their
magic
numbers.
tricks. Exactly,
You
exactly. Say stop as I riffle through the deck. And I'm like, he's like, I didn't say stop. I was like, I like girls who can't say stop. That was my line. But I was young, and they were young. It was all good.
I think I can see your wife rolling her eyes.
She is
when
rolling
she's
her eyes
watching.
right
She's
now.
just like,
She fell for that line.
She knows. Listen, time for another quick ad break. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, Stuart Taylor is not only a zoologist, I don't know why I say that all the time, but I do, zoologist by profession, but he's also a magic comedian. After the break, I'll see if I can convince him to do us a little abracadabra. Anele, you are now thin. And welcome back to Real Talk with Anele. My guest today is a comedian and a magician who has also achieved global acclaim. Stuart Taylor is my guest this very moment. So I tweeted that you're going to be on the show, and then someone said, tell him the people of Pofadder will be watching. Did you upset the people of Pofadder?
I hope not. I love Pofadder.
But when you did Going Nowhere Slowly, you said Pofadder was not great.
I'm sure I would never have said that. It must have been, I think, you know, when we were in Pofadder, there was a fair. There was a fair with roundabouts. It was very creepy. And then the director, I said, I don't do rides because I get sick. Then he said, go on the ride. And then I went, and then that maybe wasn't my best experience of, so it was not, the rides were not great, but Poffies was, as we call it affectionately, Poffies was lovely, man.
So you did Going Nowhere Slowly, which is a travel show where basically you hit every armpit of the country.
And some other crevices as well.
But then comedy also takes you everywhere, right?
This is true, but not necessarily to Poffies. I'm yet to do a gig in Pofadder.
Where do you light up every single time you hear that you're getting booked there again?
That's actually a difficult question because it's always different. It depends. Am I doing a one-man show, or am I just there for a corporate gig, or am I there for some kind of private function,
Or like an ensemble.
or an ensemble
Yeah.
show? So for me, if I'm on an ensemble show, what excites me is the fact that I get to hang with my peeps backstage. So it could be anywhere. I'm just like, we're not going to the beach. We're gonna hang backstage. I'm with my people because the comics hardly ever get to see each other. So that's what it's like. Whereas if I'm sometimes I'm just happy because I'm like, whew, it's a day away. It's a day away. A day where I can sleep late the next day.
and I don't have to fight over the remote control.
Exactly. Oh,
Cell phones are not ringing.
space to myself. I can lie like a starfish in the bed. It's beautiful.
Okay, so you've probably seen every kind of hotel room. I'm thinking ones where the shower's on top of the bed.
And now you got Airbnb. That's even more dodgy because I did an Airbnb recently where there was no curtains. It was private. You couldn't, but that means that when the sun comes up, you are up.
It's like
There were no curtains.
you don't need a wake-up call. You just don't worry.
Don't worry. My eyes will tell me that the sun is up. And at that place, the bed was held together with cable ties. So I don't know what they were doing on the bed before me.
I think it was a hotel in PE where they chained the remote control to the headboard. And I was just like,
Really?
what are they protecting, the headboard or the remote control? I was just like, this is all strange.
That is PE needs to up their game. I have a friend who was the chef at the Cullinan, and he's like, people arrive and steal the flat screen TVs.
Wait a
People
minute.
arrive with empty suitcase, flat screen TV in the suitcase, Papa.
And then they probably have the audacity to ask the porter to carry
Will you carry that out? Will you carry that
And
out?
the porter's like,
Yeah, this was lighter when you brought it in.
you thief. So, like, you were the guiding light for Loyiso Gola. Who's the guiding light for you?
There's a lot of, I really feel that in this country we do stand on the shoulders of the giants who came before us. Everyone who works in this business builds what we have. I love good comics. I love comics who are putting things out. I love comics who are taking risks. And so, be it Barry's pioneered those one-man shows and done it everywhere. Do you know what I mean? He went before Solly, he went before Mark. But then someone like, you want to talk about pioneer, then Trevor just goes, what do you want to do in the world, guys? You can do anything you want to do.
I'm out here.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you go, well, maybe I'll own a comedy club. Yeah, you can. Joe Parker's got one, the Goliath's got one, Kurt Skunder's got one. And so I really I look up to all of those guys who just go, let's take a risk, let's build, because it's an industry.
Yes.
Everything supports
Yes.
each other. So it's, I love it. Yeah.
Is there a fear of comedy in South Africa becoming too corporate?
I think there's a place for corporate. You know what I mean?
The chin chain?
Exactly. Yo, we got to pay bonds. No, I mean, you know what? I think as long as you got to maintain a balance, you can't be a cruise ship comic. Like a cruise ship comic is a comic who's they're very clean and they play to a very specific market. And if you just outside of into the gray area, then we get a letter and.
Okay.
And when I play cruise ships, then I play in that parameters.
Yeah.
But then just to let the leash off, I got to book some dates at the teatro and go, my people, I've got to talk about the state of the nation. Let me talk, because I can't say that at a corporate, but I can say it at a comedy club. I can say it at the open mic night at the Armchair Theatre. So I think you got to do all sorts, man.
But now, here's the thing then. Social media and recording people. So now you get recorded talking to your people, right?
Yeah.
Letting it loose. You took the leash off. You're rolling with your dogs in the street, and then you say something. Because I feel like all of a sudden your guy's speech is being regulated a little with comedy. What's the danger in that zone?
Listen, if you are worried about your stuff being recorded, I think you need to check what it is that's coming out of your mouth. Like, I don't mind people. I think that some things are not fit for a corporate gig, and so you go, okay, cool. I'm not going to talk about it. Because you know what the problem is? A corporate gig is kind of people who are having comedy forced upon them. So it's the bosses decided. I like Stuart Taylor. There's everyone in HR. They said yes, this is a great idea. Meanwhile, management over there is like, I want
just
to
wanna
pay
get
Hilton.
their bonuses.
Exactly. So they're sitting there. Yeah. Is the boss laughing? And maybe you convert some fans, but they're not there because they're your fans. So you got to go, okay, well, listen, you guys are, this is your view of privilege, and this is your view of privilege. Now, if I push this agenda, what my view is, I alienate that group of people. It just doesn't make for a great corporate gig. So you know what? I don't need to talk about that. I talk about dogs and cats and my wife and my kids. That's cool.
Play it safe.
Whereas if I'm at the Armchair Theatre, take your camera out, know that you paid money to be here and you entered at your own risk.
Yeah.
What we say is going to be
And
what's
you
on
may
our minds.
leave. Your boss is not
Yeah,
watching.
exactly.
Okay, so sometimes you do magic. I want to see this magic.
Yeah, you can't put me on the spot. I'll do it. Watch what Susan. Okay, no, I'll do a real one. I'll do a real.
I'm just like, what's going,
I'll do
what's
a real
going
thing.
on there?
I'll do a card trick. Like you always do card tricks. Okay, I've got my deck of cards over here.
Okay, come here so we can watch how he does it.
It's an invisible deck, by the way. I do magic with an invisible deck. I'm going to toss it to you. You're going to catch the deck. You're going to help me.
But
out.
wait, the entire deck,
Yeah,
is it in the
so
box?
It's in a box.
Okay.
Catch it? Okay, right. It's there over there, just on your dress over there. Excellent. Now, can you pick it up and just give the cards a good shuffle? Give it a
But
good
then I must
shuffle.
take it out the box.
Take it out the box. Very
Okay.
good, very clever.
Okay, box here then.
That's
I'm
shuffle,
shuffling.
shuffle, shuffle. Now, spread it out. Look at it.
Is
Look
it,
at
are the cards facing me or you?
They're facing you.
Okay.
I don't want to see the cards. Make sure I don't see.
Okay. Are they red?
Find one that you like. Find one that you like. Okay. I'll turn my head so I don't see. Take it out. Take one out.
Okay.
And then show it to that camera. Don't show me. Okay. The people at home can see the card. Okay. So hold it against your chest so I don't want to see it.
Okay, must I put it on my chest?
Yeah, like that. Okay, cool. Now, listen carefully. I'm going to look away while you do this. You're going to take that card, you're going to put it back in the deck, but turn face down. So it's the only card that's face down in the entire deck.
But then it'll be facing you.
No, it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. So you do it.
Okay,
You do it.
then
Put it facing the opposite direction.
But then it's facing you.
It
up
doesn't
top.
matter. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
there, okay.
Okay. Now shuffle it so it's somewhere in the
Okay.
middle over there. Okay, cool. Good. So there's a card. Okay, you can stop now. It's lost in the deck.
Yes.
And you can put it back in the box. Excellent. Toss the box over here.
Just close it.
Close it. Thanks. Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. The answer is always yes, Stuart. Okay, did I toss you a deck of cards?
Yes,
Did you
Stuart.
shuffle it up?
Yes, Stuart.
Did you freely select a card?
Yes, Stuart.
I didn't make you choose a card.
Yes, Stuart.
You showed it to everyone?
Yes, Stuart.
You turned it face down?
Yes,
You
Stuart.
put it in the deck?
Yes,
Yes,
Stuart.
you shuffled it up.
Yes, Stuart.
Right. Is this the deck of cards you were using? It's visible now. Is this the deck? Yes.
Yes, Stuart.
If that is true, there should be one card only, face down in the face-up deck. What was the name of the card that you selected?
It was J Hearts.
The Jack of Hearts.
Yes.
If we go through my deck, you'll see all the cards are in fact facing one direction.
Yes.
Except over here,
Which one is it?
somewhere in the center, there's
Yes.
one card and one card only, facing
Yes.
the wrong direction.
Yes.
That card just happened to be the Jack of Hearts.
No, it's not.
But wait, there's more.
What?
With one move, I'll turn it into a completely different card. Papa, ace of diamond. Jack, who the heck chooses a Jack of Hearts? Seriously, a Jack?
No way!
Wow!
Stop it!
It's incredible.
I hope my nanny is recording this because you know I'm going to get home and rewind it and watch it over and over again. We will be right back. Barry's joining us again on the couch. They're going to tell us about the show that they're doing, the Big Five comedy show happening this Easter weekend in 4 ways. And then after the break, you will also know that I must remind you, wait, you must win. At-home competition is in full swing. Enter. You could win yourself a 5,000 Rand e-gift card. This week's winner will be announced tomorrow on Twitter during the show. We'll be right back. I need to interrogate this guy real quick. Welcome back to Real Talk with Anele. Now, we're meant to be winding things down, but I'm just so scared because now Stuart and Barry are on the same couch. They're just about to give us more details about the Big Five comedy event. It's happening this long weekend. So this isn't the first time you guys are on stage together.
No. It's, well, the show, this kind of brand,
Yes.
we piloted it last year at Artscape, and this year we're doing a tour. So we did the Grand Arena last month. This weekend we're at Monte Casino, and then we head off to PE and Durban later in the year.
So the other guys, it's
And Sunset, yeah.
Yep.
Sun City as well.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, look at you guys.
Depends how I do this weekend.
So your entire future rests on 4 ways.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
4 ways. Come on,
way, that
4
way,
ways.
that way, that
You can do it.
So I want to know, I want you to describe each person that's joining you guys on the lineup. I'm going to give you a word, their names, and then you must give a word about
cool.
them, right? Joey Rastin.
Hilarious. Just one word.
Just one word.
Just one word. Hilarious.
should be certified.
Yeah.
Okay, he comes with a straight jacket.
Yes. Cool and smooth.
Most creative mind in comedy ever. Just
Ever, okay. Jason Goliath.
Big.
I was going to say, and very funny. Big and very funny.
Big and
No,
very funny.
He's the most
He's good,
enthusiastic.
yes. He's very much.
He's brilliant.
Oh, that is very true. That is very true. Can you guys remember the first time you met?
We met.
Yeah, it was in a dark alley.
Don't
so
tell them
nice.
Don't tell them that story, Barry. No, Barry.
Jason Goliath, I saw him at...
Are we talking about the first time we met?
You two met.
Yeah, not Jason. Jason's done.
Please.
Yeah, come on now.
We met at the... When I came to do the armchair.
Yeah.
Oh,
We used to run like a Sunday night gig with the Cape Comedy Collective.
Yes.
Barry popped in. And
they gave me an open spot, mate.
And we gave him an open spot. He was like, guys, do you mind if I do 5? And the comics who knew was like, oh, it's Barry Hilton. Then the guy gets on stage after Mark was headlining. Mark Lotting was headlining. Mark kills it. And then everyone's like, oh, I don't know if anyone wants to go.
After Mark.
After Mark. Then Barry's like, I think I'll try. Yeah, hour later, Barry's still on stage. Audience rolling.
Well, you see, it was a different style. Mark is a great comic.
Yeah.
But it was a different style that people weren't expecting. So boom, boom. And we had fun. It was a great place. Really good venue.
I like that. And I mean, with Barry, he was talking about earlier that his style has evolved over the years. Would you say, hence Evolve was one of your shows?
Yeah. Yes.
Would you say that one of your style has evolved over the years?
I think definitely. I think it takes you a while to find your voice. I think that's what it is. I did a bunch of one-man shows while I was doing Going Nowhere Slowly.
Yes.
I had a really good relationship with the casino in Cape Town, and because Going Nowhere Slowly had the weirdest hectic schedule, so you'd be home for 6 weeks, back for 2 months, on the road. They said to me, listen, Stuart, just give us like a 8-week notice and we'll give you sort of 6 weeks. So I would do a show at the casino 6 weeks at a time, once a year. And it was really just me doing the jokes that I'd written for that year. And I then worked with a director named Heinrich Reisenoff on a show that I was writing. And he said to me, Stu, just stop watching other comedy. I hate the fact that you guys, you have similar things that you say. I want to hear what you've got to say. So just while we work on this, I'm going to watch you in the clubs and just, I'm going to put a red mark through anything which sounds like another comic. So, for example, there was a guy, Mark Sampson, who was like a dude who...
Like a surfer dude.
Yeah, and he worked with... And he was an English guy.
Zool, I think.
Yeah, he was an English guy, and he would always say, are there any married couples in the house? Say oi. And say oi became a thing that all comics would say. So, say oi. And he's like, why do you say that? So now, and so he could find those things that was a part of our performance, my performance, and he'd just say, scrap that. And he kind of just helped me go, what do I sound like? And that show was an amazing show. I got to tour that show for 2 years. It was called Technicolored. And that was really the show of story of finding my voice. And then Learn a Husband came, which was kind of the story of asserting my voice. And
It's so strange because, I mean, you were saying that earlier that you must just not watch comedy if you're a comedian.
Absolutely, I don't like it. I
Yeah.
don't like watching comedy because you get pulled, like they say, a lot of things what comics do now. Is there any married people in the house? Let me hear you. I'll never say that.
Yeah.
I'll say, are you married? Yes. Do you own up to it? Okay, fine. Who owns up to being married? It's the same thing I'm saying, but it's a different...
But it's Barry's way of saying it, and that's it. It's just about what is your unique take. I think at some point you go, okay, cool, I know myself, and you can kind of now. If I watch a comedy special, I watch it for very different reasons. I don't watch it for the entertainment value. You watch it for the craft. You go, oh, he was so good at what he did. Yeah.
Look how he set that up.
Look how he set this up. So I mean, you watch Chappelle's latest special. Yes. Go to any comedy club, all the comics are talking about Chappelle's special.
And you know, if you watch comics. And like I used to like Robin Williams, even though he was 100 miles an hour, Robin Williams used to have these very subtle pauses for half a second longer than I would do it. But 20 times the laughter because he just had the front to hold it for that extra half a second. And that's what you look at when you watch comics.
Yeah.
You come up, like we watched each other and you come off and you say, wow, bro. That was so cool.
The way you did that.
How you did that.
Yeah.
You don't say the joke was great.
It's not even about the line.
Yeah.
It's not about the line.
The way you did that was just, man, that's so good.
And here's something that both of you did. I mean, you did it with Bespoke where you said that each show is tailor-made, so like no show will be the same. And then you would do it with Evolver as well, where the show would evolve as
all the time.
All the time.
I don't do a set show at all, ever. I can't do it. It's just the way my mind works. So I will get on stage and say, hi, I was at Woolworths today, and then boom, and start that, and I'll evolve the show according to how it's going. But that's my style. Some people have a set thing, it's the way they do.
Yes.
And Evolver now it gives me license to use the name Evolver. It's Barry Hilton Evolver Show because you know it's something different.
But do you not find people know that there's a specific joke that they want to hear from you?
Drive me insane.
And you find that they shout it out. They're like, Stuart!
Why didn't you do
Or
the
they shout
thing?
out the punchline.
But sometimes the best is when someone's like, oh, you must do the joke about it. Then you're like, oh yeah, that was
That's
a good
so
joke.
cool.
I must do that
Let me
joke.
bring it back.
Funny
Let's
joke.
talk about this weekend. Four Ways, Monte Casino, Teatro, Kagiso
Great
Letiga,
venue.
Joey Rastine, Jason Goliath, Stuart Taylor, Barry Hilton.
And can we say the legend on the decks, DJ Ready D.
Yeah, GJ ready. I can hardly say it.
DJ Ready D. So as you walk into the Teatro, is going to be lit this weekend.
Pumps.
And then he does this cool scratch thing, and we got him doing like a little comedy thing.
He does a joke thing.
Oh, don't tell us.
Reddy's making jokes.
It's a long story.
It's a long story. It's
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
What happens is, let me tell you, what happens is,
This guy.
you must come to the show and see it.
If I want to go to the show, how much is it? First things first.
It's
between
worth the
180,
money.
between 180 and $300.
You can see who doesn't know, who wasn't briefed the PR release. Okay, the press
that you?
release was sent to all of them. One of them don't know.
One person of the trio did not read it.
Okay.
No, it's between $180 and $300. Tickets at CompuTicket, and it's this Friday night and this Saturday
Saturday.
night at the Teatro.
It's great theatre as well.
And are you doing magic comedy? You just doing
No,
comedy?
just the stand-up. I get to host it.
Hold on,
So
his
I-
comedy is magic.
Yeah, my comedy is magic. Yeah.
What is magic comedy?
I have no idea. I think it's something you just made up.
Oh, really?
Paul Daniels.
Oh yeah, true.
So you never.
I know comedy magic. Comedy magic is like when you do magic, but then it's a little bit funny.
Yeah, like there was a guy called Paul Daniels who just died in England, and he would do a joke or a trick. He'd say, "I'm gonna show you a trick. You're gonna like it. Not a lot, but you'll like it." So that was his thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Always. And then he would put a funny spin on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I cannot wait. I'm going to the Eastern Cape this weekend.
Oh, cool.
I know, so I won't be here.
You're gonna have to send your representatives.
My sisters.
Send your sisters.
They will be there in full
Lovely,
force.
lovely.
We're wrapping it up. We've got 60 seconds left. What is the state of South African comedy at the moment?
Beautiful. We are in an amazing space. We get material for days. So if you want to know the state of the nation, come to the Big Five Comedy Show. You know what? Comedy is like the release in this pressure cooker of a society we live in.
Okay.
So take a load of. Come check out the show.
Take a load of what is the state of South African comedy at the moment from a legend.
It's exploding. It's really great. There's so many new people coming up, and it's becoming like music genres. There's so many different styles of comedy.
I like
you
that.
can say, hey, he's like a jazz comic. He's that. He's this. He's that. He's a hip hop guy. That's how you can choose it now. It's so good, and I believe that South African comedy can stand anywhere in the world.
I actually like that a lot. It is becoming like a music genre. What a blast. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining me.
It was wonderful.
Stuart Taylor, Barry Hilton. These are the legends of comedy. Remember that the Big Five Comedy Show will feature my guest, Stuart Taylor, Barry Hilton, Joey Rastine, Kagiso Letiga, Jason Goliath. It starts tomorrow at the Teatro at Monte Casino. That's it from us. Have yourself a wonderful long weekend. Be safe on the roads. And do not miss tomorrow's show. We've got the incomparable Lele Tukumalo. Sarafina. Remember? She'll be here tomorrow. Join us for that. Bye-bye, South Africa.
That's cheeky.